The story happened when I was 10 years old, because I suffered from congenital heart disease. My parents, for my health, contacted the hospital to give me heart surgery. I remember that time I went to the hospital. I was very afraid. My family had been next to encourage me, the doctor was comforting me, and I was joking. Slowly, I became relaxed, lying on the hospital operating table. The doctor came over to give me some anesthetic. Slowly, I wanted to sleep more and more. After a while, I fell asleep. At some point, I thought I was dreaming. I woke up and saw 3 doctors helping me. I saw myself still lying there, but I found myself floating in the air, feeling weightless and seeing the room from above. Seeing these 3 doctors made me feel nothing and I had no emotion. I noticed a lamp in the corner behind me, shaped like a round door. It's right there. I don't feel a strong physical pull, but I feel an uncontrolled need to get in, or maybe I have an emotional pull. I hesitated for a moment, but summoned up the courage to walk to the door, which I entered anyway. On entering, I heard the voice of an old man. "Hello, I am your father's grandfather. I was sent to meet you. You are allowed into heaven. You can go with me." I looked at him and answered, "You don't look like Grandpa." He smiled and said, "I thought this portrait would make you feel better, but if you liked it better." As I saw, he showed me another old man. He smiled. I guess he's trying to make me feel better. Still, I was amazed that for a child who was curious about everything, I looked around and saw a blank. Without walls, we walk on air, and even without floors, we don't fall, and there's no ceiling. Everything is white. In the distance, I see a golden wall. The wall is very large. I had never seen such a high wall, and I was amazed at what I saw. The wall was golden and behind it was a white light, very bright. In real life, if all around me is white, my eyes will be hurt, but here my eyes are not uncomfortable, but feel a kind of unspeakable love. The white light was round, bigger than the wall. I can't see behind the wall, I only see the light. I saw 2 men standing on the other side of the wall. They are smaller than walls. One stands, very quiet. Another looks very strong, bearded, about 60 years old, kneeling in front of the lights crying. I could feel the light as we approached it. This feeling I will never forget. This is pure love. So much love is irresistible. I cried for joy. At that moment, nothing matters. You're accepted. What you do doesn't matter. Everything was okay. I started to run, and I walked behind the wall with my great-grandfather to the light. I'm not sure if he asked me a question, but I found myself saying, "Should go back." He was surprised and he looked at me and asked, "Why?" I told him, "If I leave my family, my parents will be very sad. I still have a lot of friends, my teachers, my pet cats, I still want to be with them, I still have a lot of time. Then go back." At that moment, I was concerned, but how do I get back? And began to look around me. I didn't know where I should go. Without any hint, suddenly everything was dark, everything in front of me was gone. Come over for a while, I open my eyes, I wake up on the operating table. One of the doctors asked me, "You startled us, but we saved you." He paused and asked me, "Tell me what you saw or dreamed." I really didn't want to talk. I was very weak. I fell asleep again. After a while, I found my parents and brother beside my bed. For me, this meeting was like another dream. Over the years, I've been 45. What happened to me as a child has always influenced me. Now people say that I am calm and sometimes indifferent to others. Since then, there have been events, and as a child I often ask what will happen in the future. What will my future wife be like? Where will I work? What can I do? This is often revealed in the snoop. In those little dreams, I saw my future. For example, sitting at a table discussing something with a stranger. Or I would see the face of a young woman who might be my wife or daughter. It's only when the event actually happens that I realize that the scene I dreamed about comes into my life, and that there is a question: if the event had been known a few years before it actually happened, what would have happened in my life? I don't have any more questions about it. That's the way it is. I'm very grateful to have a very happy life. Even if it is predestined. People around me say I am very indifferent to people. Sometimes I even irritate people for no reason, such as waiting for my luggage at an American airport. Next to me was a nun, small and old. I could feel her nervousness. It's strange to me, she's a nun after all, and I guess she's not used to traveling. At one point, she looked at me as if to ask a question. I looked back and smiled, only to close my eyes slowly. She looked at me, smiled, and nodded as if to say, "I have faith." Since then, she has calmed down. After a while, her luggage arrived. A man was standing at her side helping the nun with her luggage. When she left, the nun thanked me but ignored the man who had carried her luggage. This angered another man, who became very irritable. I've experienced moments like this, and I've obviously infuriated men. When I was young, when that guy growled, I would fight him. To me, it was all nonsense, like talking in a language I didn't understand. At the age of 35, I had a very serious depression. Nothing bad, I just noticed that my energy and motivation had gone. When I was 30, I started a company. I worked 12 hours a day. I didn't feel tired at all, and I knew everything. The company was so successful that I sold it. After I sold the company, I didn't have a job. I stayed with my family and enjoyed life. About 2 years later, my father and I started a new company. During that time, the financial crisis began. I'm still there, doing what I need to do, but that's it. I comforted myself that this was just a midlife crisis and it would pass. But it lasted for years. One night, I was thirsty and wanted to get up and drink water. The wife next to me is still sleeping. At the end of the bed stood a man. It is not exactly human, it has no facial or physical features, it is more made up of energy. It has been a dazzling light, a light on my body. I feel my whole body is full of power. This energy feels the same as when I'm in empty space, but instead of hugging me, it makes me feel like it's reorganizing my brain. After this happened, the depression disappeared, not immediately, but after a few months. Today, I am still grateful to this person. Although I do not know who it is, his presence helped me out of life's dark times. I was so lucky to have God's love for me, to help me in my most difficult times, to give me faith in life.